Hi, I'm Ken Krell. Speakers, authors, coaches, thought leaders come to me to discover how they can take their current position and turn it into high-powered, high-profit, transformational digital events. I can do the same for you too. You're about to watch an excerpt of one of our online events that I think you may find very powerful. After that, I'll meet you and we'll talk about it. Welcome to the Really Useful Show. I'm your host, Ken Krell, and I got to tell you, you're in for a treat today because if you're a woman of any womanishness that you are, how is that? It's a technical term. You're in for a treat because Karen Haggerty's with us in the house, and I keep teasing her. I think she looks like Kamala Harris. So I'm feeling very, very presidential here today with you, Karen. Tell us what you do with these women that you empower, or that you, just help me out of this mess. I'm giving this introduction really terribly, so save me.
That's fine, Ken. So we produce empowerment retreats and summits for women of all ethnicities for a purpose. The reason being is that women's voices are not always heard. And if you've heard the expression hiding in plain sight, there's something to be said about sometimes you can be in corporate America, you can be a teacher, you can be in education, you can be an entrepreneur, and we're trying to fit in, we're trying to find our place. So instead of actually being ourselves, we decide to be someone else. And when you're someone else, you're not showing who you truly are. You're not being yourself. And so you're not allowing someone to get to know you based on that. And to know someone is to trust them. And so we teach that.
Awesome. I will say to you as a man that you do not have the exclusive on that imposter syndrome thing and trying to be someone else. In fact, I did a live stream on that just recently, because I think we all want to try and fit in and not be in a place of embarrassment and humiliation, whatever. So I think that's universal, but I will acknowledge that women have been abused in every possible way for centuries. I mean, when we do our digital dinner parties, for example, our idea salons, it goes back in the history of back into the 16th century when women were never educated. So, and they had to do their own thing. So what you're doing is super important. Tell me how that works and what kind of transformation you've been able to do. I mean, give me some of your most favorite success stories that you're most proud of.
One success story that I'm truly proud of, it pertains to finding yourself. And what I mean by finding yourself, I have a girlfriend that lost herself in her marriage. So not only lost herself in her marriage with her children, she was spending all her time trying to please her husband. She was pleasing everyone at work. And she finally decided to just stop. But when she decided to stop, it wasn't about finding herself. It was about just stopping, period. Didn't know where to go, didn't know what to do. So because of the journey I had been on to find myself, I was able to tell her, you can stop, but you need to understand, in order to stop, you need to figure out where you've come from. And when you find out where you've come from, then you can figure out where you have to go. And so what I decided to do through all of this, I created actually an acronym, Authentic. And so there's 9 steps, there's a process to it. And so through that process, I actually helped my girlfriend. And so from there, now she didn't get a divorce. She didn't leave her family, but it helped her to be more comfortable with who she is. It also helped her to own herself, to own her voice, to own who she actually is. And so she can stand up for herself. And then the last thing in reference to that, she learned another word that I had to learn, and it was a hard lesson, the word no. No is a complete sentence. And for people that don't know that, it's a complete sentence, and don't feel bad about ever saying it. So that was one of my success stories.
Yeah, I tell you what, I would agree with you. I mean, I'm all about saying yes, but saying no is so much more powerful. This is like my year of saying no. So I applaud you for that. And I was going to ask you for a great success tip, but I think you just gave it to us. Is like, learn to say no. I think that's incredibly powerful, especially if you're a pleaser. So I think that's huge. Karen, I wish we had more time because what you're doing is so important, and what really love to dive in deeper, especially because we kind of both talk the same language. So if we wanted to get more of you, how can we find out more about what you do?
Well, if it's okay, Ken, I actually have a workbook called Finding Your Authenticity. And so there's the 9 steps, which is the acronym Authentic. So by going through those 9 steps, it will actually help everyone. And you do have to take your time because it is a process. It's not something that you can do overnight or even within a week or a month. So if you go through the process, if you go through the steps and really get to know who you are, you'll be more comfortable, you'll be more successful personally, and then that'll move also into your corporate or your career or your entrepreneurial life. So I
Awesome.
want to share that with everyone.
Awesome. We'll get that in the show notes. So for those of you that want to grab that, that document, and by the way, I'm going to suggest you guys, Karen called it a workbook. I'm going to call it a playbook so that you don't think it's hard. Okay. And you take advantage of it. So let's play with how you can shift your lives. It'll be in the show notes. Go to releasefullshow.com. Go look for the Karen Haggerty episode, and it'll be there. And with that said, Karen, great to have you with us. Thanks so much for being with us, and keep doing what you're doing. You're changing the world.
Thank you.
So that's one short taste of how you can use the power of digital events to help people transform their lives and find a new way to live. Want to learn how you can put it to use in your own business? Well, stick with me for the Digital Events Essentials Plan. It's called DEEP. It'll take you through how you can plan, produce, and profit from your own online events. It's pretty great, it's pretty free, and I think you'll like it pretty much. So come join me. Click the link either in the description below or somewhere on this video itself, and we'll take you over there. It's completely free. I think you're going to love it, and it will give you the plan you need to plan, produce, and profit from your own digital events.